Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be doing a, I guess, long-lost update on EDP445. I don't know if I'm going to sound weird in this video or not. I feel like that now that I'm talking, and of course I can hear myself, I feel like I sound a little weird. I've been a little congested and had a cough. I think I might have COVID, unfortunately. I'm going to try and take a test later tonight. They're impossible to find right now around me for some reason, but I'm going to figure that one all out. I feel good enough to make videos though, so I'm going to go ahead and make this video anyway. So, obviously, you probably know about the whole EDP445 situation that happened last year. Back in like April of 2021, I think, is when this all really kind of unfolded. But if you don't know, EDP445, who was a pretty big YouTuber here on the platform, was actually even someone that I personally watched, got exposed by a group called, I think, Predator Poachers, trying to meet with a child for, well, sexual reasons, to say it in the most, I guess, best way that I can say it. And he, of course, disguised it by saying that, well, I'm only here for a cupcake. And, you know, the whole thing kind of happened. The whole internet jumped on the topic. Everyone talked about it. But it appears that EDP445's life has completely fallen apart after all of this happened. And honestly, if this is all true, it's 100% deserved. And this is the kind of thing that happens when you do the things that EDP445 did. If this is all true and everything that we're about to talk about today really happened, this is what happens at the end of the day when you decide to quote-unquote go get a cupcake, bro. So, I really know all of this because of a video made by a fellow YouTuber by the name of SunnyV2. The video is called A Huge New Update on EDP445 From Bad to Worse. It has gone viral, was posted on December 30th, actually even features one of my clips in the video. And with all this information that we're about to go through, man, I mean, EDP445 is absolutely down horrible. The life of EDP445 has went from one where, you know, you constantly have all of these fans online, right? You got this whole huge online persona going. Your career's doing wonderful. Everyone likes you. You know, you're thought of as like a meme. You're funny and everything, to basically being homeless and basically just having your whole life collapse around you. So the first piece of information that we're going to talk about here is apparently EDP445 was evicted from his apartment complex and is essentially homeless now, or was homeless for a period of time. So if you didn't know, EDP445 lived in an apartment complex and I believe lived with his father and everything, but apparently so many people called the apartment manager after the entire scandal happened online and complained that they were pretty much forced to evict him, which basically rendered him homeless. And to quote the video from SunnyV2, apparently he's literally living out of a fucking briefcase now, meaning he basically doesn't have anywhere to stay or go. From my understanding of the entire thing, all of EDP445's friends and online fellow creators that he had built relationships with have all pretty much burned their bridges with him, which makes complete sense. From the way it seems, EDP has kind of just lost everything at this rate, and I mean, let's just go ahead and talk about some of the other information and whatnot that's come out as well. From the way it sounds, also, EDP has completely, or is encroaching, I guess, on completely running out of money. Basically meaning that, well, obviously, when you go from being a YouTuber and all this stuff, and having some sort of income from your job and everything, to basically losing it all because, well, you were quote-unquote trying to go get a cupcake, it turns out that that can be really harmful and detrimental to your financial state. So, rumor has it, apparently because EDP had all this money into like cars and all kinds of other possessions, apparently he had to sell one of the two cars that he recently, I guess, had. Most likely in order to kind of garner some sort of funds together to have a little bit of cash on hand to actually be able to do anything with. And there's even claims that EDP445 is actually incarcerated and is actually in jail right now. From what I understand, this isn't related necessarily to the whole Predator Poachers thing, the whole I was gonna go get a cupcake thing, but I might be mistaken on that one. This one is kind of something to take, I guess, with a little bit of a grain of salt because it's not completely foolproof, you know, the evidence isn't completely there. The strongest piece of evidence really to tie down the fact that he's apparently in jail is the fact that a former YouTube friend of EDP's by the name of Felipe, who I believe was also a Philadelphia Eagles fan that he was kind of in the community with or whatever, claimed that he got some phone calls or whatnot from the Henderson County, Nevada jail or detention center or incarceration center, whatever, and that it was a call coming from an inmate by the name of Bryant Moreland, which is actually EDP445's legal name or former legal name, because we're about to talk about this too, so the call was not recorded or anything like that. The strongest piece of evidence to kind of prove this happened was just some like screenshots of the iPhone phone app. that show a call, or I should say a series of calls around the same time from a no caller ID number. So, a lot of this is really to just be taken with a grain of salt, but truth be told, the information isn't that far-fetched, and if it is true, I mean, it's the kind of stuff that you deserve for doing these types of things. So, apparently shit has even gotten so bad that EDP445 has had to actually petition to have his legal name changed. Like I said, his legal name, or what was his legal name, was Bryant Moreland, which was a big piece of information that people were actually using to kind of, I guess, keep this whole case together. I'm assuming that when the calls and whatnot were going to the apartment complex to complain about his presence, they were complaining about Bryant Moreland and whatnot. So considering the fact that that's kind of like the key piece of information people have about EDP445 as a person, this would totally make sense for him to do. Obviously, if everywhere you go, people are constantly bringing this kind of thing up, one of the best things that you can really do is to try to legally change your name. There's also claims that as, obviously the YouTube career and everything and the whole life that Bryant had built up kind of collapsed because of this whole thing. He's apparently been trying to apply for different jobs and whatnot so that he can get some money together. The rumors really have it that he's extremely cash-strapped right now. But apparently every time that he puts in a new application for a job, people on the internet kind of find out about that and they just kind of spam, I guess, these employers or would-be employers, to the point that he can't even really get a job at this point. And I mean, a lot of it also comes down to the fact that, well, if you do really any sort of background search or anything like that, you're going to see this situation. Because if you're Bryant Moreland and, the entire internet is spamming the fact that you, Bryant Moreland, did what you did, anytime, I guess, a potential employer searches your name online or anything, they're just basically going to pull up fucking countless YouTube videos, basically exposing you for trying to be a pedophile. They're going to pull up constantly just Reddit posts and tweets and everything of people documenting all the crazy shit you did. And plus, I mean, realistically, your whole career was years upon years of you making inflammatory comments and swearing and cussing and all this kind of shit online, right? Not necessarily the most employable person at that point when, you have fucking pedophile allegations draped over your back like a cape. So shit is just getting worse and worse, it appears, for our man EDP445 here, to the point that he's even apparently trying to legally change his name. Now, the problem with that, though, is he's still so instantly recognizable, you know what I mean? That's the thing about, I guess, showing your face on the internet, showing who you are as a person on the internet, is that, you can go ahead and legally change your name, but if someone runs into your ass on the street and they remember you from YouTube, they're still gonna know who you are. It doesn't matter if you changed your name legally from Bryant Moreland to fucking Peter Parker, you know what I mean? People are still gonna know who you are just based off your voice, off your face, off your persona, everything, right? This guy is forever, it seems, going to kind of live a life basically of being hunted down by the internet and constantly being fucked with in that, I guess, regard. Now, I feel like some people, because of some comments that I saw, think that this is wrong, right? People are saying that this is harassment, it's illegal, things like that, but on a purely personal perspective here, I feel like to a certain extent that this is kind of a necessary or realistically an acceptable thing to do. I mean, let's not forget, a video of this guy literally trying to meet a child for sexual favors was on the internet. And in that video, he literally openly admitted that this is a constant thing. He's done things like this in the past, and he's had these kinds of, I guess, fantasies about children in the past, and he tried to lie about it, and he tried to weasel his way out of it, and then, in fact, even after the whole thing came out, right, he showed zero remorse. I think even to this day, he's never actually apologized for the things that happened. In fact, I remember he went to Facebook after he got kicked off YouTube and ran away from the rest of the internet, basically, and said shit like, oh, I'm launching my own website, fuck the haters, all these kinds of different things, right? He tried to kind of spin the entire situation into something that could realistically benefit him and keep his career going. And when, something like this happens, I think that it's important that society kind of polices you in a way. I'm not saying that people should show up to his house and whip his ass or kill him or something fucking psychotic, right? But I mean, yeah, you should be barred from holding certain jobs. People should, keep watch for you. They should know where you're at, People should expose those kinds of things because you're a genuine menace to society. You're an actual fucking threat. And, you know, when the whole time that this whole thing happened, you basically had this I don't give a fuck attitude and you basically flipped off the criticism and all the points made against you. At that point, dude, what else is there really to do? Like, if this guy is in jail, that's probably the best outcome that really could have happened from like a purely objective standpoint. But at the end of the day, this was all brought on himself. You know, nobody forced him to go to that fucking place and try to meet that child and get a cupcake. You know, nobody forced him to have the response that he had. No one forced any of this to happen. And I feel like if you're a genuine threat to society like that, people should kind of monitor the things that you do. I mean, there's a reason that we have sex offender registries where people who do this shit have to tell the whole neighborhood what they did. And to kind of continue this conversation, the thing about this is EDP did things that plenty of other online creators also do. I mean, how many situations have we seen other creators get caught, you know, trying to get nudes from children online or constantly getting into controversies? Like, how many times has James Charles been in some sort of sexual misconduct scandal? This type of shit really should be looked into and you know, monitored by people. Once again, I'm not saying people should be showing up to his house or anything like that. Well, from the sound of it, he doesn't really have a house to begin with unless it's a fucking state penitentiary. But these are the kinds of things that happen when you throw your whole fucking life away over something so stupid and disgusting. Because in all reality, EDP445 had the golden opportunity in life, you know? He built a career and a following for himself of people who were very passionate and loyal to him. This was a guy with literally millions of subscribers and followers across all these different platforms. He was someone that people looked up to. I liked this guy's content. And when you throw all that away for something so foul, disgusting, and low down, yeah, this is the kind of shit that happens to you. So there is still, I guess, some salt that should be kind of taken a grain to in this whole thing. People have yet to be able to find an official jail record or anything for a Bryant Moreland across multiple different counties that have been searched. There's definitely a lot of possibility that some of the details in this could have been fabricated. For instance, you know, some of the there was a rumor I saw that he apparently had applied for a Chuck E. Cheese. Obviously, that's kind of a joke that could write itself. I can see how that could easily be fabricated online. But at the end of the day, man, you know, this is the story of EDP445, and he created it himself. He wrote this whole thing by his own actions. And if all of these updates are true, or realistically even some of them, I mean, these are the things that you fucking deserve, man. Like, don't be a threat. Don't be a menace to society. Don't be a problem, and this kind of shit doesn't happen. I'm sorry, I feel no sympathy for pedophiles and people who attempt to be one, you know? You're a fucking scumbag, and realistically, a lot of people would think a lot worse shit could or should happen to you than what has happened. So, with that being said, that's the end of this video. I kind of wanted to just provide an update on what, I guess, word on the street is, word around the internet is about this whole subject. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about EDP445 and signing out.